Hi y'all, it's Necey Dixon. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you are new here, welcome. If you are returning, y'all, welcome back. Clack, clack. All right, that's definitely empty. Y'all, I just hopped off of another live. I went live to talk about Real Housewives of Potomac Season 7 trailer. So if you haven't had a chance to check that video out, pause this one unless you're on live. If you're on replay, you can pause it. But if you're on live, just stick around, okay? But go watch that other video too, y'all, because season 7 trailer was like giving. Like, I am so excited to be reviewing Real Housewives of Potomac. Like, y'all don't even know. That's my favorite Housewives franchise out of the ones that I watch. Because I watch Potomac, I watch Atlanta, I watch a little bit of Salt Lake City. I think that might be it, low-key. That might be it. I tried to get into Beverly Hills, didn't really get into Beverly Hills like that. I heard New York is pretty fire too, but Potomac be giving, and the trailer was giving. So shout out to those of y'all who came back from that live, or those of y'all who are already here. Hey, Kenya, glad to see you here. Maya, Nikki Marie, Berta. Hey, y'all. Okay, so y'all know how we like to do. Today we're going to be talking about a little bit of Belle Collective. When I say a little, I mean a little. I ain't gonna hold y'all. Then we're gonna talk about Married to Medicine, a little bit of Married to Medicine, because Married to Medicine really wasn't given that much this week. And then we're gonna talk about Real Housewives of Atlanta season finale. And then we're gonna try to go on She by Sheree website. Maybe that's something that we could do together. And we also gonna talk about She by Amazon. Okay? Because I told y'all when she was ordering these samples, and y'all forgive me for not looking at y'all. I'm looking down because I'm trying to get the She by Amazon pulled up. I'm trying to find the She by Amazon. Where is it at? Anyway, I told y'all whenever she was reviewing this, there we go, found it. Whenever she was reviewing this, or not reviewing, I'm trying to multitask, I'm not good at that. Whenever Sheree was on the show and she was talking about reviewing her samples, I knew good and well that the only way she was going to get those samples that quick and customize them was if she was ordering them hoes off AliExpress. I told y'all. I just cannot trust a company that sells workout gear wholesale. Because this top right here, this is a sports bra that I got from Amazon. But you know what I could do? I could put a tag in it, because what you can do is go to AliExpress and you reach out to the vendor and you say, hey, how many pieces do I have to buy to put Necey Dixon in the back of my sports bra? And they're going to say, hey, all you got to do is buy 1,000 pieces. And that's it. And then I'm giving y'all this top from Amazon, but I can go ahead and call it She by Necey Dixon. Okay? So the way that this whole thing was rushed, I knew it was not giving. I'll tell Layla, I said, hey. But yeah, I knew it wasn't gonna give. So let me go ahead and get through the shows that y'all really don't care about. But y'all go ahead and stick around because they're not gonna be long. Belle Collective. This week, y'all, on Belle Collective, I really was feeling some type of way. Number one, because Glenn is giving toxic. Glenn is giving stalker. Tisha is giving you been in that toxic ass relationship since you was 16 or 17. I don't know why you do it. And it's not really giving you dealing with a new Tisha, you dealing with a new woman. It's giving he's dealing with the same 17-year-old girl. So it's really only like 2 things I want to talk about from there. So, or 3, actually. We're going to talk about Damon, we're going to talk about Tisha and Glenn, and then lastly, we're going to talk about Tambra and Akeisha and Letitia. So let's start with Damon. So Tambra approaches Damon to find out about this girl who Letitia claims that he has an emotional connection with. He immediately denies it. Let's be all the way real, shall we? I don't trust no man that has been in a boyfriend-girlfriendship for 15 years. For 15 years. When we were introduced to Tambra told us that it was a wealthy basketball player that even offered to pay her like $1 million or $2 million to have his babies, and she didn't do it. Girl. And I know some people are going to be like, well, maybe she values yada, yada, yada. But the thing is this, you spent 15 years with this man as boyfriend, girlfriendship on and off, and you could have been had the babies that you wanted to have. Matter of fact, you could have had the babies with the coin attached to it as well. So I don't trust the man. I definitely think that he has an emotional connection with this woman. And I do think that this woman wants a little bit of clout. That's what people start to do whenever they get on these shows. You know somebody that comes on the show, you come to them with some tea, and you don't care what type of information gets exposed because you're trying to get exposure from the TV show. So that's how I feel about Damon and Tambra. Tambra is definitely gonna ride for hers. Anybody that's been with a man for 15 years, boyfriend and girlfriendship, I would like y'all to tell me what y'all would do if y'all were in this situation. But as far as for me, if I got some tea on your man and you've been with your man for 15 years as a girlfriend, I'm not telling you shit. Low key, if you've been with your man for 5 years as a girlfriend or as a wife, let's be for real, it don't matter. I'm not telling you shit. Only because a lot of women are going to do what Tambra did. They're going to say, I already know you don't have a connection, but I just wanted to ask you for the sake of asking you. And it's like, well, how do you know? Do you really know what he be doing? You don't really know. So I wouldn't have said anything about it. But let's also not play like Letitia is getting a kick out of this shit because she's going through her own stuff in her marriage, okay? So moving on to the next thing. The next thing that I want to talk about is Glenn following Tisha around. Tisha goes to eat with Marie and Latrice, and who's pulling up in his Dodge Charger? Y'all, there's one major sign. If y'all watch my videos, I always tell y'all how I can spot a fuckboy from a mile away. It's a man with a nose piercing or a cartilage piercing, for one. That's the telltale sign. Number two, if this man is driving a Dodge Charger, Dodge Challenger, Mustang, fuckboy. Fuckboy. Fuckboy, 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 fuckboy. Okay? Especially one that makes all the noise that Glenn is making. So he pulls up on Tisha and she's like, what are you doing following me? And he's like, I got people following you for protection. Now, speaking of, y'all, for protection, I was like, he's saying, I was talking to the girls, and I was like, why is he saying for protection as if he's some big drug lord, right? And Bondi was like, well, maybe he is. You might be onto something. And I'm like, maybe he is, because it just don't make sense. The Dodge Charger the Dodge Charger is definitely giving steamboat money. It's definitely giving truck driver rich, hood rich. But you telling her that you got people following her for protection, what type of protection do she need around Jackson? Now, those of y'all who are from Jackson, maybe y'all tell me different. I know that every city, every downtown, especially in the country, we ain't got shit to do besides tear shit up, has its dangerous parts. But why would Letitia need protection in the middle of the day with cameras following her going to lunch, unless you were stalking her? Not to mention, when y'all were at the birthday party, Tisha wanted to argue with you so bad, both of y'all were posting up like this. And it was very much giving, ooh, y'all might be fighting at home. Ooh, y'all didn't put y'all hands on each other before. It's the vibes that it was giving. And then Tisha made that Instagram post maybe 2 weeks ago. And 2 weeks ago, she said something like she never asked for perfection. All she asked for was progress. And it was a very much I'm going to stick by his side type of Instagram post. Now, this is my thing. You posted that a little bit too early. You posted that stick by his side post a little bit too early. And the reason why I'm saying that is because it's embarrassing that we watched this man stalk you only for you to make a post on Instagram and say you was gonna stick by his side. What's going on? What in the country? Now, finally, y'all, the last thing I want to talk about is whenever the women meet up And whenever the women meet up, Akeisha wants to address the women about not being invited to Marie's birthday party. Now, this is whenever Letitia explains that she heard from Tambra that Akeisha called Marie and Letitia ugly. And something about Akeisha thinking she's better than everybody and all this other stuff. The main thing, the main word that we're going to talk about is Tambra telling Letitia that Akeisha was or can be shady. So Letitia was like, well, Tambra told me that you can be shady, Akeisha. And Akeisha was like, what? Now, y'all keep in mind, Akeisha came on this show by way of Tambra. So if that's your friend, why are you running to Letitia and saying all this stuff if it's not true? Is it true? I don't know. Okay. If y'all saw something and maybe I'm missing something and y'all know, what's the source of truth, y'all let me know. But we really don't know what's what. One thing we do know is Tambra is trying to backtrack on what she was telling Letitia, because then she goes and she says, no, I didn't tell you that Akeisha was shady. I told you that she can throw shade. So now we're changing definitions. Now we're talking about shady versus shade. Make it make sense, y'all. But that's all I'm going to hold y'all for Belle Collective. I told y'all Belle Collective was just going to be the pregame, okay? Something to get y'all's feet a little wet before we jump into the pool of Real Housewives of Atlanta and Married to Medicine, okay? So now, y'all, do me a favor. If you're already here, all 59 of y'all, 60 of y'all, do me a favor and like the video, okay? I also talked to y'all in the beginning about another reaction video that I just got off of, talking about Real Housewives of Potomac season 7 trailer. So if you haven't had a chance to check that out, please do. But the next thing we're going to talk about is Married to Medicine. Let's get into Married to Medicine. This episode also was not given a whole lot, but there was a few things that I wanted to talk about. Number one, let's talk about how the episode starts out. So the episode starts out with I'm reading y'all comments. Y'all killing me. Hey, Ravine. Hey, Sugar Shan. She said, depends on what the fuck you making progress on, bro. Y'all killing me. Okay. Naturally, Mara, hey, she says she has what type of protection, especially when she has cameras following her. Yes. Hey, Ramel. Okay. So y'all, now it is time to move on to Married to Medicine. So the episode starts out with Heavenly and Dr. Heavenly and Dr. Damon, and they're sitting, and she pulls up on Daddy during his lunch break, and they sitting down and they're talking about the other night, and he's like, yeah, I'm sorry I yelled at you, buddy. And she's all like, yeah, but I really did disrespect you. I wasn't really listening to you. And he's like, I didn't really mean to yell at you, buddy. I'm so sorry. And y'all, I felt like y'all remember being in high school or driver's ed, and you got to watch them old instructional ass videos that don't really be real life. They just be reenacting real life. They be trying to give you instructions. Like, if you say this is how it'll play out in real life. And that is exactly what Heavenly was given. So I'm like, what is going on? I didn't mean to do that, buddy. I'm so sorry, buddy. It was cringe. But outside of that, Heavenly talks about the situation with her mom. She says that, she's been going through a lot with her mom, but that was no excuse for the way that she was behaving. Now, I do feel for Heavenly and her mom. Speaking of Heavenly and her mom, I said I feel for her, but apparently Contessa does too. So we see Contessa and Scott, and Scott is asking Contessa about you and Heavenly always arguing. There's round 1, which was the what do they end up calling the intervention? Then it was round 2 in Vegas. Then round 3 that was at Dr. Simone's house. He's like, y'all keep arguing. Contessa's like, I'm over it. We argue like sisters. That's my sister. And I'm glad Scott held her feet to the fire and was like, y'all been arguing a little bit more than sisters. Like, girl, when she said we arguing like sisters, I was sitting there thinking to myself, like, girl, if you don't get the fuck out of my face with this, Like, I need you to stop right now. Y'all, give me 1 second, okay? Do me a favor and like the video. I will be back in like 30 seconds so we can keep this thing going, okay? Be right back. All right, y'all, I am back. Thank you for the brief intermission. I had to let my dog out, okay? This is all the glamour of a live. Y'all know what I mean? And if you're watching this on replay and you're new here and you're irritated by the pauses and the live stuff, it's a button right there for you to fast forward, okay? But anyway, I'm glad that Scott was like, what is going on, right? And Saintly Iconic Soul says, Scott said Contessa ain't doing all this because of him. Now, this is what I was thinking too. Because this entire time, I told y'all, I was convinced that Contessa was fighting Heavenly on behalf of Scott. I felt like she wanted to prove to Scott that Heavenly made up those things and that those were not things that Contessa overshared, because obviously Contessa feels really bad about oversharing, which is why she keeps bringing up Heavenly's lack of sharing. So listen, let's dig a little bit deeper into this conversation between Contessa and Scott. And I can tell y'all where Contessa had me upped up. I'm sorry. I cannot stand Contessa. I never felt no type of ways about Contessa until this season. So Contessa says she's over it, and she tells Scott that she feels sympathy for Heavenly because Heavenly is going through a lot right now because, you know, her mother's passing away. Her mother passed away, so she knows how that feels. And she says that Heavenly needs a pass. That's where you had me upped up, Contessa. You said that Heavenly needs a pass. Now, the only reason why Contessa knows that Heavenly's mom is transitioning right now is because Quad said, well, you know why Contessa was like that? It's because her mom is dying right now. She was Quad, it did not take all that. Quad, you did not have to come down to the O-Shop party doing all this, doing all that, okay? You didn't have to tell Heavenly's family information, because guess what? Contessa could keep that sympathy. Contessa can shove the sympathy up her. I don't care, okay? Contessa can do what she want to do with that sympathy, but the fact that she said she needs a pass, I was like, oh wow, this woman is really delusional. So we move on from that scene. We see Martin and Audra, and they're planning their expensive wedding. They talk about how they met at Howard Homecoming. Now, I told y'all how Audra kind of had me feeling some type of way with the comment about, oh, I'm too African for that shit. But I wasn't going to judge her for that completely. I do enjoy Audra and her husband on this show. I think that they're great additions. They're younger additions to the show too. And I can't wait to see the wedding. When they said to those wedding planners, how much more do we have left on the bill? They said, $40,000. Martin said, oh my God. Oh my God is right. 40,000 is a lot. Okay. Oh my goodness. So next we see Anila, and Anila is working on her business where she's selling raw Indian hair. And I'm absolutely here for it, Anila. Anila is one of my favorites on the show. She's giving business. She's giving housewife. And I think that this is a good business move for you as an Indian woman to be selling raw Indian hair. And you have a whole reason behind it, because it did look like you shed a lot of hair through postpartum. So I think you'll have a good story. So I'm like, okay, this is cute. Next, y'all, we get a Dr. Jackie commercial. And I'm calling it a Dr. Jackie commercial because I feel like we've had a Dr. Jackie commercial every single episode. Now, I'm usually here for it, but this time I was like, damn, this literally feels like a commercial. Like Dr. Jackie has found a way to buck the system. Okay. Dr. Jackie is doing less than Candy does on Real Housewives of Atlanta. They said, Dr. Jackie, we're going to sign your contract. You get 15 episodes. And Dr. Jackie said she only want to be in drama in 5 of those episodes. 10 of them episodes is going to be infomercials. And we got an infomercial today. So really, the point of this commercial for Dr. Jackie was the fact that lesbian women need to go to the OBGYN just as much as heterosexual women. There's risk of diseases, risk of what other things did she say? Cyst, a bunch of other things. So you still need to get checked annually. So that was her commercial. Now we see the men's party. The theme of the party is burgers, bourbon, and Botox. And this party is hosted by Dr. Kieran. Nobody wants Botox. I didn't think none of the men was going to. I didn't think any of the men was going to want Botox. Dr. Damon does talk about something called bio-T, which gave him a lot of testosterone, a lot of adrenaline. The man said he felt like he was in 8th grade again. Dr. Heavenly said they was going to need about 3 more bitches if he continued to use the bio-T. Now, ladies, okay, or men's, whoever's, people, my subscribers, my friends. Well, last week I asked y'all, would y'all get an O shot, right? I said personally, for me, no. For me, I said no, okay? I just don't want nothing being injected down there. Now, would you want your man to get the bio-T, to be revved up like he was young again? And if you are a man, you tell me if you would get the bio-T, okay? Comment below, because I want to know if y'all are here for the extra that you can add to spice it up, okay? They said they got everything. So lastly, Eugene talks to Dr. Damon a little bit about wanting to make some changes to his career because the ER is too stressful. Y'all, this is something that we've been seeing with Dr. Eugene for like the past couple seasons. Man been working like a dog. We know that. Which is so crazy to me because we watch this show of so many people who have all this wealth. And Dr. Eugene is the only one who seems to work the way he does. Now, that's not no shade to any of the other doctors. I'm not saying that the other doctors work less. What I'm saying is a lot of the other doctors, like, work is just work. Like, they don't complain about work. Work is just work. For Dr. Eugene, it's like work is his life. And then his life is an extracurricular activity, which is not the way that it should be for any type of career. So I definitely think that change will be helpful. So next, y'all, we see Toya at the therapist. And she says that something happened with Eugene and she feels like his emotional side is completely gone. The kids see that she's not happy anymore. And she was like in tears. And I was like, damn. I'm not going to say I didn't like Toya, but I never like felt anything for Toya. I never felt like a connection to Toya. I just didn't. And now in this scene, I was like, damn, I really feel for you, Toya, because all of this makes sense. You joking about the size of your man's peen. You an expert when it comes to the toys. Like, you ain't really getting a regular peen like that because he worked too much. And you didn't said that, right? Eugene working a lot and being really stressed. Y'all moving to another house after living in one house for 9 months and supposedly getting another one built by a rent one. It seems like a lot of stress and it seems like it's taking a toll on your relationship. And I told y'all last week when I reviewed the show, Aiden said, why are y'all always arguing? And I told y'all it's a reason why they left that clip in. The editors want us to wonder, why are they always arguing? So while that's going on, Eugene and Damon, they have another conversation a little bit further because Eugene wants to see what life is like after the ER. So lastly, y'all, we see Anila's mom, and Anila is not doing the quality of job. I mean, not Anila. Anila's mom is not doing the quality of job that the nanny was doing before. But Anila mama took me out when she said, the nanny didn't teach the kids, or either you didn't teach the kids nothing. Because Anila's mom is like, I can cook, I can take the kids to school, but I'm not cleaning. I'm not your maid. So I don't think that that's going to work. Anila's telling her mom, like, you know, this is not it. You have rules that you need to follow. And this is why they say don't do business with family. Because you got your mama who's telling you what to do with your vagine, telling you what to put in your house. Like, she's part of the reason why y'all spent over on y'all's house, right? So you definitely should have put up a clear boundary when it came to you and that mama. But this week's episode was pretty lightweight, y'all. But y'all, what we're going to do next is we are going to get into Real Housewives of Atlanta, okay? Real Housewives of Atlanta. Y'all do me a favor one more good time before we move into the last show, and y'all like the video. I'll be right back. Y'all, it is time to get into Real Housewives of Atlanta season finale. Season finale. Now, y'all tell me, before we get started, and y'all, if I'm out of breath, it's because I was running, trying to get back to y'all. So, okay, my kid, this is a good comment. This comment is referencing Married to Medicine. My kid says the other men besides Eugene have women who bring in more income. That's exactly right. I was not even thinking. That's exactly right. Okay. So y'all, okay, before we get into Real Housewives of Atlanta, the question I was going to ask y'all is this. Slightly iconic says, and Karen too. But the thing is, Anila's rich. Anila comes from a rich family, and apparently she's making a lot of money blogging, so she might still bring in more money than Toya. Anyway, the question I wanted to ask y'all regarding Real Housewives of Atlanta, if you had to rate this season on a scale of 1 through 10, 1 through 10, tell me how you would rate this season. Because whenever the previews were coming out, whenever all the ladies was on their little press tour or whatever, they were telling everybody that this season was different than all the other ones, that they really developed a sisterhood and all that other stuff. And I think they did. I actually enjoyed this season. I really enjoyed this season. Y'all heard Portia trying to come back? I heard Portia trying to come back. Y'all here for it or not? Because I'm not. To be all the way real with y'all. I feel like this season was very entertaining. It was fun, which is important. Fun. Without Portia. And I'm not saying that she would take away she might. I don't know. Portia is fun. But I'm just good without her. I'm ready to see Real Housewives of Atlanta continue to go in a new direction, okay? As much as I can't stand Sanya. Y'all know it. I love having Sanya on the show. Sanya brings drama. Even though she ain't gonna stay with her chest, she brings drama. But then she's also really fun too. So I really enjoyed this season. And I have to agree with you, Kimmy. She says 7.5. B Stokes says 6.5. T says 7, 6, 7. Naturally Mars says 6.5. I'm feeling like this season was a solid 7.5. It was. And that's not bad at all. That's not bad at all. We didn't know what this season was going to give. Hillary says it was an 8. It was a good season. I would like Portia back. You almost had me, Hillary. Hillary, we almost saw each other until that last sentence. KO says it's an 8. Sandy Iconic says it's a 7. The real Endai says, I feel like if Portia comes back, she's going to come back with a lot of the energy that Nene. Oh, I think that that's a really good point. The real end dot. She is gonna come back with that Nene energy, just because she's not gonna know all of the ladies. Then on top of that, y'all, remember, like, Drew is friends with Portia in real life, but whenever Drew first got on this show, it was given that she was kissing up. It was kissing up. She was trying to give big sis, little sis, and I don't want to see that dynamic. I don't want to see Portia and Kenya arguing. I don't. Kenya is healed. I don't want to see Drew kissing up to Portia either. Like, I'm just all the way good on it. I really am. Yeah, Portia definitely knew that she would be back. And I'm good. I'm good on her and Simon. I don't want to hear Simon talking like this the whole time. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear Simon. Okay. I was hoping that the last time I talked about that man was whenever I reviewed Portia's Family Mess. Okay. Don't want to talk about her no more. But yeah, y'all, now we done got that out the way, I think we can get into order of events for Real Housewives of Atlanta. Let's get into it. The biggest thing was this fashion show. And like I told y'all, we together are going to try to see if She by Sheree is back up, or She by Amazon, should I say. All right, so the episode starts out and Kenya has gotten into 5,000 doors in CVS. That is huge. 5,000 stores, huge, Kenya. I go to CVS probably about once a month, maybe twice a month. I love going to CVS, especially when I want to pick something up real quick. Usually when I go to CVS, I'm always buying like a beauty product. That's mostly what I go to CVS for. So I haven't noticed the Kenya Moore hair care. Maybe it's not the CVS by me, but I would like to go see her stuff, right? Oh, this is the word right here, T. It's merch. It's merch. She by Sheree is not custom. It's not designer. It's merch. Now, okay, let's move on from that. We see the ladies show out to support her. I believe it was Drew, Sanya, Candy that was there to support Kenya. So I'm like, okay, we love to see it. So next we see Marlo and Sanya. We see Marlo and the boys coming over to Sanya's house, and they're coming over for some man-to-man time. Y'all, I actually have to tell y'all, this is one of the only times on the show that I felt like Sanya and Marlo were both tolerable. I actually enjoyed seeing Marlo and Sanya in this scene together without the mess, not talking about nobody else, just being there for a friend. Really just being there for a friend. So the boys come over for the men time. Sanya and her theatrical ass bought these auto shop jumpsuits for the men with their names on them so they could learn how to change a tire, all that other stuff. So Marlo ends up talking about, yeah, I was surprised too. I was surprised, but I thought it was a good scene to see. Marlo ends up talking about how her mom is visiting after her not being able to see, well, let me not say not being able, her choosing not to see her mom for 3 years because of the last argument that they got into. The last argument they got into, I think she said her mom was on drugs and it had something to do with the boys. She didn't feel safe leaving the boys around her, and that was the last argument they got into, and they haven't really spoken for 3 years. So one of the other updates that Sanya has from Marlo is she is going to go get her IUD taken out. For those of y'all who don't know what that is, Sanya is about to get off of the birth control. Sanya is about to get this man another baby. Now, y'all, it was very much given storyline. Y'all tell me if y'all were getting storyline vibes. So Sanya tells Marlo that her husband says that if she's not committed to having another child, then he don't want to have no more children. And that changed her mind. And I was thinking to myself the whole time, like, if it was that easy, what was y'all playing in our faces for? If it was that easy, Sanya, for this man to say, I'm with it if you with it, and now all of a sudden you want to have a kid after you saying that you need like 6 adults in the house to watch your one kid, I'm like, girl, it was that easy? Because like having a kid is not, it's not something where it's like, I guess I'll do it. I mean, the way you was boohooing and crying to your husband earlier in the season, like I could have bet money that you didn't want to have no more kids. So I'm like, what? But if you like it, I love it. If you like it, I love it. Saintly Iconic says he simply used reverse psychology on her. I feel like she used reverse psychology on him. I really do. Because it would have made sense for him to say, if my wife don't want more kids, I don't want them. Because you never want to bring a child into the world and one of the parents don't want to have another kid. It's just going to make it hard because you're going to, bear the burden of taking care of the child majority of the time, right? But if Sanya immediately changed her mind like that, it's very much giving you were just testing that man. Like, I feel like Sanya was just testing that man. Like, y'all probably had conversations before in the past. You made it clear to your husband that you was going to give him or have so many kids, right? More than one, obviously. So when you came to that man testing him, he clocked that you was on bullshit, which is why he told you, like, no, we're going to have one more kid. And now all of a sudden at the drop of a dime, it's like, okay, yeah, we can have one. Yeah, it's very much given storyline. And I feel like it works two ways. I feel like she was using reverse psychology on him too. Like, girl, what? So yeah, like I said, Marlo and Sanya were actually really tolerable in this scene. And I'm so glad that Michael and William got to spend some time with the man. Y'all, one of the things I want to say overarching is these last two episodes, Marlo must have paid production. They must have wrote a damn story arc for her because they really are trying to bring it home with Marlo and make her a good person. They're trying to make us believe, not make her a good person. Let me correct myself. They're trying to make us believe that Marlo is a good person, and they're trying to bring it on home. Starting with the damn birthday party. That was the last episode or 2 episodes ago when her best friend came and her best friend had to say to everyone and profess to everyone how Marlo has been there for her, right? Now, this episode, not only do they show Marlo trying to pour into her nephews through Ross, now that they're back home, they're also trying to show Marlo and her mom and how she's willing to help her mom and pick her mom up in her Rolls Royce and show her all of her riches. They're working overtime, working nights, holidays, and weekends to try to wrap up this storyline to make Marlo a little bit more tolerable. So next, y'all, we move on to Sheree. We see Sheree prepping for her show. She's contracted 24 pieces, but the lady says that she can only do 5 pieces. The venue is booked, but they don't know what the clothes going to be looking like. So Sheree's like, oh, well, it's just going to be a preview. And to me, I'm like, girl, order them bitches off Amazon, okay? Order them off Amazon Prime. I know you got your Cricut machine in the back. And y'all are probably hot ironing the She by Sheree logos on the Amazon pieces, more than likely. So we're going to move on from that. Let's move on. Ooh, no, you didn't go get some wings on me. Them wings sound so good. Do I need to go pick up some wings after this? So Marlo and her mom, y'all, we finally see her mom. I think her name was Emma. So Miss Emma shows up. Like I told y'all, she picked her up in her Rolls Royce, very much giving rich daughter, very much giving mama, I made it, right? And Marlo's mom says that the worst thing that she did to her was put her out of the house when they were in Lithonia. Now, Marlo says the reason why she did that is because she had to. Her mama was on drugs. Her mama was in and out of the streets, coming back, different times of the night. Who knows where she was, and she did not trust her to take care of the boys. So they ended up hugging it out. Marlo says that they hugged it out because they were in a public place. And I'm like, okay, so I'm glad that y'all got to hug it out. You said your mama was on drugs. Your mama said she ain't on that stuff no more. I hope y'all in a good place. And this is another attempt at like, oh, look at Marlo being human. Ooh. So next, y'all, we see Candy and Mama Joyce, and they're talking about this trust situation. Now the biggest thing that comes up is Mama Joyce is saying to Candy, why would you put your husband in a trust and set up his life for the next woman after you dead and gone? And this is a question I wanted to ask y'all. So I want y'all to participate, okay? Open up that keyboard and I want y'all to participate. Do y'all think Mama Joyce is right in this situation? So Mama Joyce is basically saying, why would you start a trust for your husband? So in the, God forbid, unfortunate situation that you die before your husband, you're giving your husband all this money to set up his next life for his next wife. Now, on the flip side of things, I'm thinking to myself, if that's her husband and they decide to become one, if Candy is no longer here anymore, do you want your husband to not be able to upkeep the same lifestyle that y'all had when y'all was together? Do you want him to like literally just have nothing and like not have anything? That doesn't make sense to me. That doesn't make sense to me. But Candy's response in her confessional, that's what I could get with. Candy says that if a situation like that did happen, she would prefer for Todd to never remarry and basically just have him a life partner. Have him a woman, you know, to satisfy his needs or whatever. Y'all could travel and all that other stuff, but the woman wouldn't have any rights to her money. But on the other side of things, I'm like, isn't that the same thing though? Because no, she doesn't physically have your money or own your businesses, and she can't, you know, gain generational wealth off of being the second wife to your ex-husband or your widow husband, but she's still going to reap the benefits. So it's kind of a tricky situation. And then Candy's mama was like, no, you need to add me to it. And Candy busted out laughing and was like, I wasn't expecting you to be here longer than me, you know? So I don't know. I just want to see, what do y'all think? What do y'all think about that situation? Because that was one where I was like, damn, I can kind of see both sides. But I just couldn't imagine somebody wanting their husband to not be able to live the same lifestyle. Like, I don't think you would ever want that. Want the person you were with to struggle. Kimmy says, Mama Joyce needs to move. Lakeisha says, no. Mama Joyce just playing on outliving Candy. Q says, I agree with Mama Joyce on some things she's saying, right? It's some of the things. B Stokes says, I feel like as long as I have my kids set up, what difference does it make if he moves on? Exactly. Like, who cares? Jen says, I would not start a trust for the hubby, only for the kids. Iverson says married people should leave something for each other. I agree. I absolutely agree. The real Endot says Mama Joyce is wrong. You can put all types of parameters around a trust. Right. KO says that they are with Mama Joyce. Huh. I said, where's Mama Joyce man at? Sweet Flyer says Mama Joyce got a point. Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of difficult. Sugar Shan says, I have been married 32 years, and when I'm gone, I'll just be gone. Hope he's happy. Unless I get to haunt him, then I might. Like, that's what I'm saying. When you gone, you just gone. So yeah. I don't know. I wouldn't want my husband to have to start over and not be able to live the same life we live together. Okay, so now y'all, we get to Sheree's rehearsal. And when we get to Sheree's rehearsal, there's like a gang of models there, y'all. A lot. When I say a gang of models, it's like 25, 30, 40 models there. Like, I know I just went up a bunch, but it was like maybe 35 models there. And I'm like, how are they going to do this on only 5 pieces? So Tyrone shows up. And when he shows up, he come walking in. Walking with that. It was very much giving you went to jail for fraud. The way you walked in was giving fraud. You did 12 years for fraud. Or however long he did. You definitely since you sat in that cell because you was out here writing fraudulent checks, okay? You was starting business, you was getting PPP loans and everything else. That's the way he walked in. Sheree said he walked in like bruh man from the 5th floor. He did. Hey man, you got a sandwich. Hey man, you got a sandwich. That's the way he was walking in. I was like, what is going on? So he shows up and he's talking to Sheree. And Sheree's like, okay, so you just gonna show up and not give an apology? The whole time, Callie is like, who is this? Who is this? And the producer's like, oh, that's Tyrone. And Callie's like, everybody's surprised to see Tyrone. And she's like, okay, Sheree says you're not going to apologize. And he says, no, because you doing the stuff to help me get back to prison. And she says, what? Like, what do you mean by that? And he says, well, you knew I couldn't film. That was against my probation. Now, Tyrone, look at you saying that you couldn't be on camera, but here you go. And in every single scene that you're standing next to Sheree, you're talking to Sheree, and then you're looking at the camera like this. And then you looking at the camera because you want to be seen so bad. So bad. So he says that he doesn't feel like he should apologize to Sheree. He feels like they both should apologize to each other. And I'm like, Sheree, he is so full of it. Now, Apollo, you know, we got to find out from the resident felon. We got to find out from the resident felon. Is that against his probation order? And Apollo, he brings out, you know, in code section 32, you have a right to be seen and, you know, all media appearances that you want to make. So no, that's not true. So we've heard it from a credible fraud source because he also went to prison for fraud. And he says that Tyrone is actually lying. Tyrone is lying. So next, y'all, after this, we see Marlo's mom and Candy. And this is another attempt to try to make Marlo seem a little bit more human. So because, y'all, this is the thing. Marlo has talked mad shit about Candy this season. Like disgusting shit about her, in my opinion. She said she was fucked out. She said that she wasn't really, that she said something about her being, she said something about Candy's motherhood. Something about how Candy pays people to mother her children, right? So it's just beyond me that you went this whole season talking about her the way you did, and then you bring your mom on this show to garner sympathy. Okay. So it's awkward because Miss Emma asked Marlo if she can bring a man around. Marlo is immediately triggered because she feels like her whole life you have always, you know, been busy chasing a man. Not just any man, but one man, a man who's still on drugs. So Marlo's like, no, you can't bring this man around. And Miss Emma immediately is like, okay. Candy walks in the midst of all of that drama, and it is so awkward. But Candy gets right to it. She's like, so when did you stop using drugs? And I was like, damn. Like, I wouldn't have said nothing about no drugs. I would have acted like I didn't know nothing about her being on drugs. I wouldn't have even, the word drugs wouldn't have even came out of my mouth, okay? But Marlo's mom is like, you know what? I'm just going to apologize to you, Marlo. I didn't mean to take it there, and she's not going to take me there because I don't do that stuff no more. I ain't going to cuss her out and all this other stuff, right? So I'm like, okay, it's cool that Marlo and Miss Emma is cool, but I couldn't help but feel like this whole scene was to garner sympathy. You've been trying to garner sympathy from Candy the entire time. You tried to do it whenever you told her that you kicked your nephews out the house, and you thought that was going to make Candy feel bad for you, but in turn it made everybody look at you like you was crazy. So I can't wait for Candy to be lighting your ass up at the reunion where her voice shaking. That was me trying to make my voice shake. So I'm just like, yeah, okay. So finally, y'all, we get down to the fashion show. And when we get to the fashion show, let's talk about the fits, y'all. I wish I had a picture, but let's talk about the fits. Did Sanya look a fucking mess, or did Sanya look a mess? Okay. Excuse my French, but Sanya looked a mess to me. She definitely was giving 2007 prom homecoming vibes. Um, Wearing that pink and orange two-tone sequin dress. Like, girl, what was you wearing? Um, Kenya looked good in her silver dress that we saw her wear before, and that's no shade because shit, when you spend money on stuff like that, you should wear it more than once. I can't remember what everybody else was wearing. Drew, I feel like she looked a fool with the glitter boot and the glitter necklace or whatever, but the worst one was definitely Sanya. It was giving Windsor. It was giving Windsor. It was giving prom Hoko Windsor. I was like, no, ma'am, this is not giving fashion show. So some of the people who we see at the fashion show, we get some guest appearances from Peter. Kenya said Peter looked like he was high as a kite. So y'all, we see Peter on an episode of Real Housewives of Atlanta for a hot second, and based on Real Housewives Potomac trailer, it looks like he's going to be there too because the people were saying that allegedly he was dating Giselle, even though Giselle denied it. We also see Bob. We see Bob, and I'm like, okay, good for him. Supporting his ex-wife and his kids who were in the fashion show. We also see Tyrone come around again, which we're going to get to him in a few. We see Quad from Married to Medicine. We see Lisa Nicole from Married to Medicine. We see Dwight, a fashion show with no fashions. How dreadful. And he was so excited to actually see the fashion show 14 years later, and they kept replaying the a fashion show with no fashions. How dreadful. So she was nervous. And the fashion show started like 2 hours late, and Dwight is looking, I don't know if he was looking at Candy, if he was looking at the camera, but he was like, I'm ready to go. This is a mess, okay? Like, I knew this shit wasn't gonna come through 14 years later, 20 years later. I don't give a damn. This fashion show was not gonna hit. And it seemed like Dwight was still unimpressed by the end of the night. But let's talk about Tyrone. So after Tyrone gets into an argument with Sheree about who should apologize, he brings his ass back, pimp walking, back with flowers for her mom and flowers for her. 14 years and 2 hours later, yes, Donna. And he comes into the room, and y'all, he's hugging Sheree. And when he hugs Sheree, he immediately poses for the camera. Giving her a kiss on the cheek. He was giving what Martell and Sheree have been given for the blogs. Pose, 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 pose. That's what he was given when he was in that room. He really didn't even talk to her like that. She paid him dust. And she was like, Mom, this is Tyrone. And her mom was like, who's that? Even the daughter was like, who is this? And she said, Prison Bay. And her mom said, oh, yeah. B, this is the thing right here. Why is his identifier Prison Bay? That's telling me that you and Tyrone probably didn't have nothing deep. You probably had other men in the mix, but Tyrone was the storyline that was going to get you boomeranging back on this show. Like, let's be real. Your family did not know who Tyrone was, but we know Tyrone. Girl. So anyway, that's pretty much that. And she's not dealing with him tonight on the night of her show, and she sends Tyrone on his way. So the show ends up beginning 2 hours late, like Donna said, 14 years and 2 hours later. The show was actually giving, y'all. I'm not going to hold y'all. I'm not going to play with y'all. As much as we done talked about She by Amazon and She by AliExpress, the show was giving. Now, the part that got me was after we talked about Tyrone pimp walking out after the show, Sheree walks out like this. Sheree walks down the aisle, and I was like, who told you to do that? Who told you to do that, Sheree? Just walk. Just serve. But I don't know what it was that you was coming down that runway doing. I was so happy for Sheree, y'all. I really was. And it looked like the website was supposed to launch. The White was over the show. Everybody was so happy for her. And they end with a little recap for everyone. And it seems like everybody is just living their best life. We know that Drew still hasn't read Ralph's book. even though Ralph's book is supposed to hit the shelves. Sanya's working on another baby. Marlo is still munting. Kenya is traveling with Brooklyn. Candy is still working on a new play. Like, everybody has shit going. I really felt like this was a good season. I really do. I was really satisfied with the season. But one of the things that I wanted to talk to y'all about is I wanted to show y'all the picture that's been going around. I saw it first on Twitter, and the Shade Room posted it not too long ago. So it says, oop. Hold on. Hopefully I don't have a graphic covering the screen. No, it's fine. Okay. So it says, oop, people call out Sheree Whitfield for She by Sheree selling the same item as other fast fashion companies. Now, the thing is this, y'all. A lot of fast fashion companies buy from the same wholesaler. The same wholesaler. This is the comment right here from Thomas Adriana. She says, I mean, they all get the clothes from the same factories in China. While they do that, my thing is this. If you spent 14 years working on a line, give me fashion. Give me custom pieces. Don't give me shit I could buy for Shein. Okay? And that's why the people feel away. They also have it on Amazon. They said when you can buy it from Amazon without the She by Sheree logo for a third of the price, then I have a problem. I feel you on that. Somebody says, I really hope I get to see someone rocking She by Sheree in passing one day. Girl, me too. Yes, it's just embarrassing. I can't. Yeah, I can't. So her website also was down immediately after the show, and she left a note on the website that said, Dear fans, due to the overwhelming interest in She by Sheree, the influx of love is crashing our website. But please understand it's being worked on, so continue to check back within the next 24 hours. We are working to get this quickly resolved. We wish to serve you soon. Thank you for your interest. Thanks to the customers whom we were able to serve so far tonight. Now, this was a whole day ago. Today is Tuesday, so this happened Sunday night. She by Sheree. Let's look for She by Sheree's website. SheBySheree.com, the official website. So it looks like it is back. Okay, Sheree. She by Sheree. Be the first to receive information. I'm good. But fitness, wellness, lifestyle, joggers, spring, summer. This is a killer for me, y'all. Me, Sheree, fashion designer and fitness enthusiast. I wouldn't call it designer, but I ain't mad at nobody trying to get a coin. Because I mean, Robin went and bought them damn PTA hats wholesale, put it added a liner in them, and sold those hats. So my only issue is if we waited 14 years for it, Sheree. If we waited 14 years for it, Sheree, they need to be custom. Like these hoodies right here, this hat, this is giving custom merch. This is custom merch, right? Who gonna check me, boo? That's cute. But this price can't be right, y'all. Do y'all see this? This price cannot be right. Y'all quit playing. This says 142. This ain't right. Y'all, hold on. I must be on the wrong website. Somebody tell me in the comments. Am I on the wrong website? Because $142. $142. Y'all let me know if y'all can still see the screen. My kid says she can't see it, but I can still see the screen. But I'm like, $142 for this heat and press t-shirt. Who gonna check me, boo? No, ma'am. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. She is wilding. $102 for tank tops. Sheree, and this is the thing. You've outpriced the people who give a fuck, to be respectful, to be all the way real. You have to know your audience, okay? There's going to be a few people who love Sheree so much that they will spend $142. But there comes a time when you outprice the people who really give a damn. And I'm not being mean. That's just the reality of it. I mean, I can't post my merch for $100. Because the number of people who actually give a damn to buy merch at $100 is ridiculous. So what is going on? Oh, okay. Y'all said that the screen froze. The screen froze. Let me try it again. Can y'all see the screen now? Can y'all see the screen now? Y'all let me know if y'all can see the screen now, because I really wanted y'all to see those pieces that was $142. Let me go back. I will stop sharing and then I will share again. Every time I click another page, it goes away. So let me try this another time. Apparel by Sheree. Okay, I think y'all can see this now. But y'all, the Who Gon' Check Me Boo t-shirt, this is a shirt where I was like, ooh, this is a shirt I would buy. Who Gon' Check Me Boo? Iconic. But at $142, Sheree, you've gotten all the way beside yourself. All the way beside yourself, Sheree. You got to know your audience. I don't know who told you to price these t-shirts at what they don't price them at. Because it probably ain't nothing but a Hanes t-shirt. It's probably a Hanes t-shirt that has the print and press on it. Yeah, your team is absolutely the F wilding. They are. Y'all saying it's wrinkle. Yes, we can make that with the Cricut machine. We can make that with the Cricut. Okay, I will be selling who Gonna Check Me Boo t-shirts in the parking lot. Okay, I can make them. If y'all gonna spend $142, I got y'all. But y'all, all in all, I thought it was a really good season. Now we just have to look forward to the reunion. And a couple things I'm looking forward to is the people getting in Marlo's ass, the people getting in Sanya's ass. Like, I can't wait. But I don't really think everybody's gonna get into Sanya's ass like that, because I think she's a non-factor. Like, the only person who's gonna come for Sanya like that will be Drew, when we see Drew flip her hair at Sanya. But y'all, that's really all I have. Okay, we reviewed 3 shows in 1 hour. If y'all haven't had a chance to check out my Real Housewives of Potomac season 7 trailer, y'all be sure to go check that out too. Okay, glad that I got to come on and talk to y'all this Thursday. Me and the ladies are going to be on my channel for Ooh Ladies First panel. And if Married at First Sight is hitting, I'll come on and I'll review Married at First Sight too. Okay, hope y'all enjoyed this video. As always, like, comment, subscribe, and I will see y'all in the next one. Bye.